Hello, Starbased. It's been a while. A bit of a while, if you ask me. Hey, today, we'll be covering attacks on trade lanes, and of course, a colony visit that I had just recently. I hope you enjoy this episode of Starbased. Our first story today is the attack on shipping lanes. Due to an increase in piracy among certain systems and a decrease in security of cargo freighters running through systems, there have been increased levels of piracy and other illegal activities for the honest man that makes their living on cargo. Now, now reports are coming in of other things, such as protector battleships that are stationed above and around colonies to protect them from attacks by hostile powers and auto ships. Such ships, like the Empress-class battleship, come armed with massive amounts of guns, 6 main batteries, and other stuff. The ships traveling towards these areas are now safe and secure, and shipping may move freely and ubiquitously through these areas. These battleships have been seen engaging threats all across Starbase to clear the way for shipping lanes and continue prosperity within the system that govern the Starbase. Hello again, and I hope you enjoyed the last story. Our next story is about a small research outpost in a system far away from all the chaos, trouble, and destruction of our last story. During my visit to the small outpost and research station in the Grenia system, I was invited down by the owner, who was very kind and had allowed me to take a visit and a tour. We were then I headed down to the surface in a shuttle pod and went ahead and requested permission to land. I was granted permission to land, and so I despawned my shuttle pod. After carefully, and I mean that by loose ascent, carefully landing, I got to see this. That's right, a Senator-class carrier arriving in orbit of the colony. Whoever this was, it was obviously either had immense wealth or immense connections. And the Senator class was a sight to behold. As the drone sees, it has what appears to be massive sensor batteries, along with a super laser turret and room on top for landing pads. It's labeled respectively as 1, 2, and 3. The Senator class is a frightening sight if you are against it, and is covered in a menace that speaks to its volume. Now, as we go down to the surface again, and we see out the beautiful vista with the fortress in the distance. The Senator class is parked right above my head, which was such an amazing sight to see. And now, we get to the tour. The tour was interesting, to say the least. I did not learn where we got the Senator class carrier from, and so we wandered around for a bit, not gonna lie. We wandered around for a bit through empty hallways and barren wastelands till we reached the research room, where he gave me a tour of the planets, of some of the core crystals of the area. Furthermore, each sector housed a ton of information. The planet cores, for example, were being analyzed and used for mining purposes. Alongside that, we had missile defense production and research for experimental types of missiles. And with that, we almost always saw something. Everything was great. And so, we walked. We took a tour up from the areas, of everything. And, of course, we went down and enjoyed ourselves within the areas. After all, it was a fun time to tour the laboratory and engage in its various itineraries. So, after we toured the library and the research facility and defensive emplacements alongside it, we went ahead and around to see the weapons emplacements. Now, as we approached the landing pads, we saw nothing very much, just landing pads upon landing pads upon landing pads. There is nothing much for that to say. Each and everything we saw was created, and the airfield was intense. Furthermore, there was also a talk about a cargo hauler coming in from another sector of space. And of course, like any sensible research and defense outpost, this place has weapons. Tons and tons of weapons. Here, you can see the laser banks firing once again to deter enemies and lightly armed attackers. After all, any sensible person would have. And up above, on the friendly Star Destroyer, there, you will see weapons tests. Firing and firing, these heavy batteries core through the mountainside. And of course, its other weapons, including its super laser, were tested as well. Sadly, the drone that was supposed to take the footage, kind of crashed. And so that footage is now unusable, so this is all you're getting out of us, I'm afraid. And that includes everything. The arrival of the Senator class, a formidable threat in any capacity that wishes to use it, with its multiple hangars and fighters. This is all we needed to deter enemies from attacking the flagship of the colony. Billy Jaime, Starbased News. I thank you all for tuning in to the first broadcast of Starbased News in quite a while. Things have just been going terribly and going great at the same time. Come back with us next time to see more Starbased News. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell, yada yada yada, for more updates on what Starbased News is. Starbased News, your source for the greatest news in Starbase.